Welcome to Expanded Reports for QuickBooks. In this demo, we're going to create a report, filter the data, insert a formula, group on a column, and add a subtotal. So let's get started. Under the QuickBooks pull-down, these are QuickBooks type reports, and the one we're going to start with is Sales by Item Detail. What we can do on this particular screen is to filter by either QB filters, which will make the report run faster. You also have the ability to choose equal to, not equal to, and many other calculations as well as a range. You also are able to choose begins with, ends with, exact match, or exclude exact match for text type fields. I'm going to click on OK, and this will start the process. What it's doing at this point is extracting the data right from QuickBooks so you have a real-time report. That quickly and easily the report is up and ready for you to do more work. So here is the filter on the report that will filter based on all the different data fields. There's also a filter from a pull down so that you can choose to include or exclude data that's included in that specific column. To insert a formula, click on FX. You can enter the label and you can enter the formula. If you know formulas from Excel, then those will work here. If not, no problem. I'm going to do just a simple math calculation, so I'm going to take the amount times 10% to be able to calculate the commission, and I want that to be a currency. If I want something a little bit more complicated, by clicking on this hyperlink for formula, this is going to give me a list of all of the different formulas. As I click on each one, I have a description here at the bottom. You can see there are many different types of things that you can do. If-then statements, capital, letters, lowercase, substrings, all sorts of date functions, and so on and so forth. Once you have your formula entered, click on Test Formula. Here you'll see $70 times 10%. Click on Test. That gives me $7, which is correct. So I know my formula is set up properly, and click on OK. It's added that particular column to the report. If I click on FX to modify my commission, I can now make it 15%, for example. Go ahead and update it, and it changes the calculations that quickly and easily. If I want to add or modify a subtotal, I right-click and add subtotals. You'll see in this case it's automatic. If I remove that, I can add a new subtotal such as max, and I can even add an additional subtotal for average. And that lets you add as many different subtotals as you'd want. On the other columns, if you want to change the summary, right now it's sum, you can change it to none, or you can change it to count, whatever you'd like. You can do it column by column. So to add additional data to an existing report, in this case I have Sales by Item Detail open, click on Modify Report, and on this Display tab you can just start typing what information it is that you want to add. You'll see I started to type sales tax. This information at the top is going to be coming from the form itself. Then you will see customer dot and then some sales tax information. That's coming from the customer list. If we scroll down, you'll see the account list, sales tax code list. So there is a lot of additional information that you can choose to add. In order to have that information included on the report, simply check a box and that will add that information to your report. Now, summary and pivot views are one of the most powerful pieces of Expanded Reports. If you click on Summary Pivot View, this button, then this is going to let you determine what groups you want for the columns. So in this case, if I choose date, the row will be various groups. In this case we have type and primary, and then for the sum I'm going to choose amount. Click on OK, and that quickly and easily we have a pivot table. So you'll see that there are a lot of additional date options that are available by default. If I decide I'd like this report to be a little bit different, I can drag the item type over to this field list to remove it. Maybe I've decided that instead of date I'd really rather have the customer. So I grab name, place it here, now I have the customer. I have amount for the detail. If I click on quantity, I can now have quantity and amount. By right-clicking, I can change the field settings so that I can add, for example, an automatic or a sum for each of these, or add max or min, whatever I would like. So in this case, if I say average and say OK, now it's showing what the average is for each one of these different sales. So now you have a pivot report, and you can go through and manipulate it in any way that you would like.